Hello everybody and welcome back to the live game. My name is Necroxis and today I'm going to be bringing you something that I believe I talked about last week in my video, but let's have a little conversation first, shall we? If you're subscribed to my channel, you might have noticed that there hasn't been any new video in about a week and a half. Yeah, about that. Without going into too much detail, there's just been some personal stuff going on that's been interrupting my playtime with the game, as well as producing content that I think you guys would like. As I've been saying in my last few videos, there's not much new lore to cover. Actually, there isn't any new lore to cover. I've already covered everything in 5.3 that there is. But it seems like 5.3 is going to be releasing either next week or the week after that. So hopefully the 5.4 PTR stuff starts going up, and I'll be able to show that to you. But other than that, yeah, I've been a little preoccupied with some real life stuff. I don't want to go into too specific, but if you're curious, it's just I recently became unemployed, which is really unfortunate. So trying to handle that situation. But yeah, you might have noticed my Gelbin Mechatorque video, which I've been teasing, is not up yet. I'm hoping to actually finish the editing today. Hopefully this will be released today. It should be. This video, that is. But yeah, today we're going to look at some more of the storytelling stuff from actually the game that's already been in the game for a while. As you can tell,
how does today find you?
These are all the ones I've completed so far. Last video we covered the last 3 in 5.2. So there's all of these to cover. Today we're going to look at the first 3, which are about the Saurok, the Hozen, and the what are they called? Jinyu. God, I couldn't remember them. And then I believe the next one I'll cover the, quote, enemies of Pandaria, which include the Mogu, the Mantid, and the Yangol. And then the third and final video will be these last 3, what is worth fighting for, Xiaohao, and Liu Lang, which are not enemies or allies of the Horde or Alliance. It's kind of just extra lore. That's how I'm kind of splitting it up. The Hozen and the Jinyu are allies of each faction. The Saurok are kind of special because they're neither. They're enemies, but they're reluctant enemies, so I'm just including them in this. The second video will be the enemies of us on Pandaria, and the third one will just be factions. Or, not factions, but story. Okay, so let's start with the Saurok.
Jade Serpent guide you. Let us talk about the nature of power. In my hands, I hold a sword. I ask you, who wields the power? I do, for I wield the sword. Many thousands of years ago, the Mogu held all the power. They ruled this land with fists of iron. But as their empire grew, they needed a way to police. They used the powers of the veil and their own flesh-warping magics to twist and shape a race of ferocious lizards into a living weapon. They created an army of Saurok, bloodthirsty savages created to enforce the will of the Emperor. But there is a problem with creating a living weapon. Do you see? Who now wields the power? The heartless Saurok, even with their tiny lizard brains, soon realized the truth of their position. They killed the enemies of the Mogu. Then they killed the subjects of the Mogu. Soon they started killing the Mogu themselves. The Mogu Emperor then ordered all of the Saurok to be purged. He tried to wipe out their entire race, to no avail. They still plague Pandaria to this day.
Yep.
So you see, power is easily taken, but should not be lightly given. Oh, I seem to have lost my sword.
Lorewalker Cho is kind of the best character of this expansion, even though I already said it was Rathian, but he's close. I actually forgot that the Saurok came from basilisks. I didn't remember I don't remember them actually clarifying that, so that's interesting. I'm sure you've all dealt with the Saurok already through Pandaria, so there's not really much commentary I'm going to have on these videos. Just little things that I might personally note, like the basilisks. I didn't remember that. Let's do the Hozen next.
Every good story needs a hero. One day, a father grew tired of his young cub's misbehavior. "You act just like a Hozen," the father scolded. Still, his son misbehaved. To teach him a lesson, the father dragged the cub out to the forest to watch how the Hozen live. "Do you see what the Hozen are like?" he asked. "Do you want to live like that?" The Hozen are quite lively indeed. A short-lived race. Few Hozen survive past their 20th birthday. Their leaders are all 14 or 15. How mature were you at 14 years old? Meditate on that. Afterward, the father asked his cub what he had learned. "I learned that we work and toil on our little farm, but that the Hozen have the whole world as their garden," the cub said. "I learned that we squint by the light of a single candle, but that the Hozen enjoy the light of the stars. I learned that I go to school every day, but that the Hozen learn by doing." And the cub concluded, "I should very much like to live like a Hozen." Who then was the wiser, the father or the cub? That, my friend, is for you to decide.
It was always funny when I first heard that the Hozen were going to the Horde, because I feel like they fit really well. And it's really funny. I believe it was Dave Kosak at BlizzCon 2011 when they first announced Miss Pandaria, when they basically described the Hozen as 15-year-old boys that the Horde have decided to give rockets and bombs to. So I think throughout this expansion we've seen it's pretty much true.
Hello.
Finally, let's listen to the Jinyu, the Alliance race. I'm not biased, well I kind of am, but you know, I would wager the Jinyu are better. That's just my opinion. Let's listen though.
Eyes open. Always be learning. Great events often have humble beginnings. Consider a quiet pond. Still, the water is like a sheet of glass. Until I throw a stone. Such a small thing, but soon ripples engulf the whole of the lake. The Jinyu also have humble origins. Once primitive creatures, they were fortunate enough to live near the enchanted pools within the Veil.
Yep, you heard it right.
The magic of the pools expanded their minds and grew their bodies until they became one of the great ancient cultures of Pandaria. The wisest of the Jinyu are very wise indeed. They can speak to the rivers the way you and I would consult our elders. In the whispering waters, they can hear the future. The Jinyu and their water speakers stand at the very heart of the greatest events in Pandaria's history. Their visions built empires, freed slaves, and warned our last emperor of the sundering that shattered Azeroth 10,000 years ago. Think about it. The smallest voice can change the world. Consider that, friend, the next time you decide to start throwing stones.
Let me repeat. Lorewalker Cho, the best character of this expansion. Rathian really got to put up a fight to beat Lorewalker Cho in the next patches. I have to tell you guys. So yeah, for those of you who didn't know, it was kind of a big revelation to me although you might not feel the same. The Jinyu, they were once Murlocs. That was pretty awesome when I figured that out. Something else that I made a noise, like a question, when this was going on. They showed the last Emperor. He was the Pandaren. And we actually see the last Emperor in 5.3. Spoiler alert. If you haven't watched my other videos. If you haven't, why not? But I'm wondering if they're going to change this version that we just saw to match the same one in 5.3, because he has a different body type and his face is different. So just a curious consistency thing. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, everybody. My name is Necroxis, and next time we're going to take a look at the next 3
Pandaria welcomes
stories of the Mogu, the Mantid, and the Yangol.
Every
I will
good story
see
needs
you
a
then,
hero.
while Lorewalker Cho talks over me. I'll see you then for more Warcraft lore, because there is always more lore to explore. Farewell.